section is I told you the tent it's like a 300 seat, I think, but it's full capacity, and some people are even standing. The security is very tight. So let me take you back to what Mr. Okello said. We're reading one by one. The reading charges one by one for the 4 infants who were murdered, and for the first charge, when they read, he was like, let me first ask my lawyers in what to. Maybe he was just confirming. Maybe he can say guilty or not. But I think according to him, they already talked to him. They asked him if it's okay with the lawyers which we are holding, they are provided by the government to help him be his lawyers. Then he was like, it's okay, these are my lawyers. So when he talked to him afterwards, he said, I'm not guilty with the charge which was read against him. They read the first charge. I told you the first charge was a Tiku Gideon. He said he's not guilty. Still with Kesha Atim, he said he's not guilty. Selunjoji Ignitia, still he said he's not guilty. Odeke Adrian, still he said he's not guilty of all the offenses. Right now, what we are waiting for is court to put the person. This will proceed. Then from there, the prosecution will tell court what will be the next thing, maybe to bring the witnesses to start the hearing of the case. Because here right now that they have hearing of the case, since they are even tendering in evidence from the prosecution. First one did not start with talking about murder. What are the ingredients that make the murder? What are those ingredients? Court has to look at it can find someone guilty. It is not a matter of saying that someone murdered someone, but court has to confirm murdered someone. So I'm going to take you through the ingredients. If you're talking about the ingredients, court read 171 and 172 of the Penal Code Act, Chapter 128. Some of the ingredients of murder include the following: death of a human being. If you're talking about murder, we are supposed to know that if it is a murder, it's supposed to be a human being, not something else. So it means that if Mr. Okello is to be found guilty, they are supposed to confirm that he murdered a human being, and he's supposed to defend himself if at all he has defense. If at all he decides to keep quiet, he will decide to keep quiet. That will be another thing. Then another ingredient is unlawful killing. That killing he did, because remember, under the Constitution is what they call murdering, where they are you are sentenced to be executed or to be murdered by a court of competent jurisdiction. That is when they can sentence you to murder. That is lawful killing. But if at all it is not that, there is no way someone can kill, and it is not allowed under the Constitution and even under the Penal Code Act. That is Section 172, which talks about the sentence, and even 171, which talks about someone not taking someone's life. So there is no any way someone can take someone's life. Then about the lawful killing, checking under Article 22 of the Constitution, it talks about that no one has a right to take someone's life unless otherwise that person has been sentenced by a court of competent jurisdiction to be executed in one way or the other. So, as I said, that the prosecution must prove that there was unlawful killing, not the killing of lawful killing of under Section 22, under Section 20 of the Constitution. Then there is a malice aforethought, that the person who killed the person, or that if at all Mr. Okello is to be found guilty, there is supposed to be a malice aforethought. The intention to cause the death of these infants. Was there the intention? Prosecution has to prove that before they find Mr. Okello guilty. They are supposed to be causation, that the cause, that the accused caused the death of these infants, if at all if at all they are just alleging, they have to confirm to court with bringing evidence that the accused is the person who caused the death of these infants. Then another thing I talked about for the starters who started with us, I talked about participation, that they have to confirm that Mr. Okello participated in the murder of these kids, not just a matter of saying that it is Mr. Okello who killed and everyone saw him at the scene of crime when he was murdering, or even the teachers saw him murdering, but they are supposed to put the suspect at the scene of crime for court to find him guilty. And in any case, when prosecution fails to place the accused at the scene of crime, there is no way that case can stand. And if at all prosecution fails to prove all the 4 ingredients I've talked about, court cannot. Judge Alice Komuhanj Kauka will be able to acquit the suspect because prosecution has failed to prove all the ingredients which are required. All the 4 ingredients, they are supposed to be proved by the prosecution in one way or the other. Maybe what I can tell you, I talked about the post-mortem report. The post-mortem report, still court is just putting it on record, but it has not yet confirmed that this is what happened. The agreement I've talked about what's in between the prosecution and the defense, but court still has to go further, to go through evidence to see is it really what happened, that these kids were murdered, and if at all they are murdered with the wounds they are talking about, they have to show training, to show the doctor's report. If at all the doctor is not called to clarify anything, because they have agreed, I don't think he will come here. They have agreed that the report is very okay. They are all parties are agreeing about the post-mortem report. There is no way I think the doctor will not be called to do what? To testify on that. I think among the witnesses we are expecting in this matter include the parents of these infants, and even those include the people who were teachers when the those are the people we expect. For those ones who are not here when we are starting, I said that according to the report, according to the indictment, it's like the detailed story of what happened from the onset up to when this Mr. Okello was arrested. It shows that according to the indictment, it shows that Mr. Christopher Okello is mentally okay. That is the report from that he is mentally okay. It is according to the prosecution. They allege that he is mentally okay to stand the trial, and they are saying that before this thing, Mr. Okello murdered the infants, he planned the murdering. Because they are alleging he visited school, then he came back, the murdering, and admission led to registered it, and so of that's what it is not yet confirmed. It is not record. It is just the indictment showing so that Mr. Okello planned the murder before he came at Ggaba Childhood Development Center on 2nd April 2025. In this case, we don't need interpreters because the person who is accused is good in English. The judge was talking directly as he was responding, and right now, what I can tell you, he has been given the report to go through because he's just seated. I think he was standing and he requested to sit. Is you can see on your screen. Like it is right, not on where the mobile court is. It is before you have to check you very well, and you have to through the walkthroughs they provided, not just move anyhow at the scene. Then another thing is about for those ones who don't know the place where this mobile court is located. It's like you are heading to Ggaba learning site. That's what it is matching the division, Pala district. So this side, after school, from Ggaba development center where the tragedy, it's just at the pitch of that school, just down. That is where the court is taking place. Those ones who did not start with us, if I take you back, the judge who is presiding over the case is Justice Judge Alice Kumuhanga. Like I said, he's waiting for anything which will come from both sides. That is when he will give a verdict in this matter. There are some lawyers who are they are not holding brief. They are just watching. They are private advocates who are just observing whatever is taking place. They are seated at the bar. They are just watching. They are not submitting anything. The law allows them that if they want to observe how the proceedings are moving or how everything is unveiling in that court, they can sit in court at the bar and they listen in whatever is taking place. So with all that said, the prosecution is to produce evidence. That is all. If they don't produce evidence, don't be surprised when they don't find Mr. Okello guilty. Prosecution has to prove all the 4 ingredients I've talked about: and malice aforethought, causation, participation of the accused. All the 4 ingredients are supposed to